Chapter 8 A Mission to London. "You heard?" asked Constance, as D'Artagnan opened the door for her. "Yes," he replied. "The Queen needs a brave, loyal, intelligent man to go to London for her. So here I am." Constance's eyes, which had been blazing with hatred for her husband, now smiled at the brave young man. "Thank you, D'Artagnan. I know I can trust you," she said. "I would rather die than have any harm come to you or the Queen." Constance took from her pocket the bag of pistols her husband had shown her, and handed it to D'Artagnan. "Here, you will need money for your trip," she said. D'Artagnan burst out laughing. "The cardinal's gold!" he cried. "I shall save the queen with the cardinal's money. How amusing!" "Shh!" whispered Constance. "I hear voices below. I think it's my husband." D'Artagnan and Constance put their heads close to the hole in the floor. Bonacieux and a man in a cloak were in the room below. D'Artagnan gasped when he saw that the man was the nobleman who had stolen his letter in Meung. "That is Count Rochefort," whispered Constance. "He's the man who kidnapped me." "She's gone!" they heard Bonacieux cry. "But she's probably returned to the palace." "Are you sure she didn't suspect you when you left?" asked Rochefort. "No!" replied Bonacieux, scornfully. "She's too stupid for that." "Oh, that beast!" hissed Constance. "This time you were the stupid one, Bonacieux," said Rochefort. "You should have taken the letter and brought it to—" "I can still get it," interrupted Bonacieux. "My Constance adores me. She will give me the letter, and I will bring it right to the cardinal." "Oh, the traitor!" cried Constance, after her husband and Rochefort had left. "But I have no time for anger now. I must get to the Queen, and you must leave for England." D'Artagnan kissed Constance good-bye, and left the house. He would have to stop at Monsieur de Tréville's office to get a leave of absence from his company. Tréville listened to D'Artagnan's request, and then said, "You realize, do you not, that the cardinal will try to stop you?" "Yes, monsieur, and that is why I'd like to take Athos, Porthos, and Aramis with me. That way one of us is sure to get through." "Good idea," said Tréville, as he handed D'Artagnan 4 passes. Within the hour, 4 riders galloped out of Paris and rode north on the Calais road. Their trip went well until they stopped at an inn the following day. They were just finishing their meal when a drunk at the next table asked Porthos to drink a toast to the cardinal. "Certainly, my good man," said the Musketeer, "if you will then drink to the king." "I will never drink to the king!" cried the drunk, drawing his sword. Porthos was never one to walk away from a fight, so he called to his friends to go on without him. Hours later, the 3 riders approached a group of men who appeared to be repairing the road. Suddenly, the workmen picked up muskets they had hidden in the dirt and began firing. "It's an ambush!" cried D'Artagnan. "Don't stop to return their fire. Ride on!" But before they could escape, a shell hit Aramis in the shoulder. Still he rode on. After 2 hours, though, he was so weakened from the loss of blood that he decided to seek help at a farmhouse along the road. Athos and D'Artagnan continued on the journey alone. After 20 straight hours on the road, they stopped at an inn to rest. The innkeeper demanded payment in advance, so Athos followed him into his office with the money. Suddenly, 4 armed men jumped out from behind the door. "I've been captured!" shouted Athos. "Go on, D'Artagnan, quickly!" D'Artagnan didn't need to be told twice. He jumped on his horse and galloped off. Late the next day, he reached the seaport town of Calais, where the steamer left for England. As he neared the dock, he saw a tall man talking to the ship's captain. "I must get across the channel to England immediately," said the man. "Only with a pass from the cardinal," said the captain. "Those orders arrived today." "I have that pass here," said the man, as he took out the paper. The captain examined the pass, then handed it back to the man. "That's fine, sir," he said. "We don't sail for another hour, so you might be more comfortable waiting at the inn down the road." As the man left the dock and came toward him, D'Artagnan saw the black patch. It was Count Rochefort. D'Artagnan drew his sword and jumped in front of him. "Hand over that pass!" he cried. "You!" cried Rochefort. "The Gascon rascal with the yellow horse! Where are your Musketeer friends to defend you now?" I need no one to defend me, cried D'Artagnan, waving his sword. I'll take that pass from your hand or from your dead body. Rochefort drew his sword, and the two men lunged at each other. Within minutes, D'Artagnan had wounded Rochefort 3 times, crying at each thrust, "One for Athos! One for Porthos! One for Aramis!" Rochefort fell with the third thrust. Believing him to be dead, D'Artagnan reached down to search for the pass. But Rochefort was only wounded, and he plunged his sword into D'Artagnan's chest, crying, "One for you!" "And one for me!" cried D'Artagnan, running his sword through Rochefort's shoulder. D'Artagnan found the pass and hurried to the ship. On board he examined his wound, and found that it was not serious. But he was exhausted from his long journey, so he stretched out on the deck and went to sleep. The next morning the ship docked in Dover, and D'Artagnan set foot for the first time on English soil. While he was waiting for a hired horse to be saddled, he looked around at the passengers waiting to cross to France. A beautiful blonde woman caught his eye. It was the woman in the carriage at Meung, the one called Milady. Was she the reason Rochefort was going to England? No matter. D'Artagnan had to get to London and get there quickly. The door to the Duke of Buckingham's mansion was opened by his valet. "Who is calling, sir?" he asked. "Just say the young man who challenges him to a duel in Paris." Buckingham came out immediately, his face white with fear. "Has something happened to the Queen?" he cried. "No, my lord, but she is in great danger, which she explains in this letter." Buckingham took the letter. "Good heavens!" he exclaimed. "What am I reading?" "Oh, my poor dear Anne!" "Quickly, my boy, follow me." Buckingham led D'Artagnan up the stairs and unlocked a door with a small gold key hanging from his neck. D'Artagnan followed the duke into a candlelit chapel. A portrait of Queen Anne hung on the wall above an altar. The duke approached the altar and opened a small carved box. "Here," he said, lifting a ribbon of diamonds from the box. "Here are the precious diamond studs." Suddenly he uttered a dreadful cry. "What's the matter?" asked D'Artagnan. "2 studs are missing!" exclaimed Buckingham. "Only 10 are here." "Could you have lost them, my lord?" "No, they've been stolen. See, the ribbon has been cut. Now who could— Wait! The only time I wore them was at court last week. Milady de Winter spent most of the evening with me. That's it! She must have stolen them for the cardinal." "I saw her boarding the steamer for France just hours ago," said D'Artagnan. "Then we must hurry," said the duke, as he rushed out of the chapel, and called for D'Artagnan to follow him. They ran through several corridors until they entered the workroom of the court jewelers. "Look at these diamonds," said the duke to the head jeweler, "and tell me how much each one is worth." The jeweler examined them carefully, then replied, 1,500 pistoles each, my lord." "And how many days would it take to make 2 studs exactly like them?" he asked. "A week, at least, my lord." "Ah, but that'll be too late!" cried D'Artagnan. "The ball is just 5 days off." "I will give you 3,000 pistoles each if you can make up 2 for me by tomorrow," said the duke. "My lord," said the jeweler, "you shall have them." True to his word, the jeweler presented the 2 diamonds to the duke the following afternoon. They were so perfectly matched to the other 10 that even Buckingham could not tell the difference. "I have done all I can," said the duke, as he handed the diamonds to D'Artagnan. "The rest is up to you. I have a ship waiting to take you to France, and horses for you when you arrive. We may meet soon as enemies on the field of battle, but today we part as friends, D'Artagnan." "And I thank you,"